So when you look at the virtual assistant space,
Yeah.
there's a lot of, I think, preconceived notions about it. There's a lot of delusions about it. From your perspective, when somebody's looking to hire talent and they're trying to decide, do I need to hire someone local or do I need to go virtual? What are they not aware of that the virtual workforce can give them the power, the capabilities to do?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's how capable and motivated these folks are in other countries. We've just opened, and I haven't told many people about this, but we just opened our first office in Africa. And so,
What part?
well, we're in Morocco, but the access, once you're in the continent, you can actually go anywhere. So I guess Ghana, Kenya, South
Wow.
Africa is a huge talent hub, and a lot of big players are there. And so, what's interesting is there's a lot of motivated humans in this world who actually care and do hard work and are really, really intelligent, really smart, really capable, really accomplished. And so, most of the time, like in the beginning of my career, I was telling people this works, right? And now I'm saying, hey, not only does this work, but it could blow your mind.
Yeah.
And so those are the conversations. Like I still have skepticism. That one deal that I was telling you about that has 70 seats, they're like, does this work? And I'm like, hey, I have this example, this example, this example, this example. In this one, we put 600 people in the company over 3 years. Like I'm positive it'll work, and you guys just need 70, so this will be easy for us. And they're like, this Daniel saying it's going to be easy,
Yeah.
like it's not as complicated as people think, and yet it's also not easy.
Yeah. Yeah. So from your perspective, how many virtual assistants do you have that work directly for you? And
Mhm.
what is the scope of things that they do for you?
That's a good question. We believe in a blended model where like 70-80% of the doing is actually done outsourced. And so what we hold inside, we have US employees doing is the consultation, the strategy, the leadership, the high level stuff where you have to understand the client journey and you have to be a professional. Like our accountants, our controllers, our CPA, like they're in the US. But all of the accounting work, all of the bookkeeping, all of the invoicing, all of the reconciliation, that's all done in the Philippines or outsourcing for us. So accounting is a huge function. Sales, when somebody, for instance, somebody raises their hand and says, I'm interested, like that initial consultation of like, okay, who are you? What's your pain point? How many do you need? What does your world look like? We use a virtual professional to do that, virtual assistant. Marketing coordination, that's an easy one. The person that's going to edit and chop this up and make the reels and put the end and the beginning in, like that can be done virtually. So think about it like this: sales, marketing, operation, executive assistants, accounting. Those are the main ones. Operations support. I mean, just getting stats on your clients, like
Yeah.
putting them into a CRM. Like there's just a whole bunch of things that your US team doesn't need to do. But another filter to go through, those are like the main categories. Another filter to go through is like, is it a face to face conversation or is it done on a computer? Because 90% of the stuff that we do is on a computer. And that means that we probably at MyOutDesk, we can do it for you or
Mhm.
with you.
Mhm. What's fascinating too is people don't understand truly how talented these people are. Like
Yeah.
they are very well educated, very hardworking, and very talented. Of course, there's some bad ones, and that's why you need to use groups like MyOutDesk to say, "Hey, let's vet it, personality assessments, interview processes,
Yeah.
background checks, health benefits, like all the things you guys
No,
provide."
we even do a medical examination.
Wow.
So what we'd had is, and this is a funny thing about scale, right? Why it's really important as a business owner or a C-suite person or a leader to not hire just anybody. We've made every single mistake you can possibly imagine, and we've also, because we're in the human business, we have 2,500 employees, right? We've also had all the bad things happen, like lies, cheat, steal, like all the bad things have happened because that's what happens at scale. Like you just collect 2,000 people into a room, there's going to be a bad apple. Like that's just how it is. But every time something bad happens, we change our process.
Mm.
And so we have our virtual professionals, they go through an FBI grade background check. They go to a medical exam and actually get a screening. Very open and transparent about when things happen. Like we're going to work with our partner who is our customer. Like we think of ourselves as a talent solution partner who our main job is to help the companies that we serve get the talent they need so they can go out and grow and scale. Like that's it. And so in that process, we're really partners in their business to supply 70-80% of the talent they need so that they can win in the marketplace. Like that's a big responsibility. And so it requires a lot of transparency, working together, understanding the issues, and then being able to be clear. We've had clients that are crazy. We've had people that work for us that are crazy. We just sit in the middle and try to help everyone win.
Right. Right. And what's cool, like when we work with you with Gobundance,
Yep.
a lot of people say, I want a virtual assistant to be my admin, but
Yep.
they don't spend the time or the energy to get clear on the job descriptions, the expectations. What's this person going to be good at? You know, what are they going to need to do? What's their skill set? You know, you've really mastered with your team the onboarding process of a client or a customer or partner, as you so well said, to make sure that they get clear on their needs. And so if someone's listening to this going like, gosh, I need a virtual assistant. And I will tell you, everybody in the world needs a virtual assistant. Like,
dude, we have a $7 billion energy company where the C-suite didn't have an assistant. Like the entire leadership team, none of them had an assistant. And I was like, you guys are a $7 billion company. Let's get you a couple people.
yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, and it's crazy what these humans who are amazing people can do for you and how much they become a part of your family. Like my virtual assistant, for instance, has been with me for 9 years. She reminds me of like, hey, I'm going to order Valentine's Day flowers. And I probably shouldn't say this, but hey, I'm going to order Valentine's Day flowers for your mom, your mother-in-law, your wife, your daughter. Like the amazing things that they can do to just help you stay fully present when you are trying to scale a business. Because I think what you said earlier is spot on. Like, everybody asks me this question of how do you have balance? Yeah. And I'm like, my definition of balance is no balance. Like, I don't want balance. If I wanted balance, I would just go get a normal job.
I want to, and sometimes I fantasize about having a job because they're having one boss, having one thing to do, like having clear expectations, like
having vacations where you could actually say, I am going to take a vacation. I don't answer my phone. I don't answer my emails, but I don't want that. Yeah. That's just not who I am.
Well, we don't want that because we're not wired for that. Correct. And so I work really, really well in that scenario where, you know, it's interesting. You said that the flowers.
Yeah.
So a process would be those people are in my personal CRM. It's in my calendar. The virtual professional asked me a week prior. We get a note like, hey, what note do you want? We're talking about it. I'm not writing it. I'm not asking her or him to do it, but it just becomes a living, breathing process. Birthdays, Valentine's Day, Christmas, you know, like all those things can be done virtually now, which is wild. I mean, you can send a handwritten note to somebody all completely virtually. That did not exist 17 years ago.
No.
And so what I would encourage the listeners to think through is, who do I need to win on my team right now? Like what departments, what's going on in my business? What's the talent gap right now for us to win? The other thing that's really interesting is, you know, with inflation the way it is right now, interest rates high, this weird tariff stuff, a lot of businesses are going, oh gosh, I need to save some money. And so some of our most successful clients who've built multiple teams in multiple departments, they can point to saving millions of dollars a year on their bottom line just by hiring us and creating that blended model. One in particular saved $14 million last year, and they're the only profitable version of their company that's publicly traded. And it's really cool to work with them because we have 600 of their people in our company working for that company. And there's a direct line not only to their service level agreement, meaning they're serving their internal and external clients at such a high level compared to their peers, but also their bottom line is just really enhanced compared to their peers on the marketplace. So, you know, we're not just, you know, let's get an assistant because I need some help. Like we can actually impact your bottom line really, really at a high level, plus give you the talent required to scale and understand what's going on.
Which is very important. A lot of people think like a virtual professional is, okay, I'm going to delegate the non-dollar productive activities and I'm just going to have somebody that answers my email. Like what you've mastered with MyOutDesk is, yes, we have that too, but we also have somebody that can come in and run your marketing department and take it to a whole new level. We have someone that can run customer service, take it to a whole new level.
That's right. What's interesting is the thing that's different between companies that, you know, embrace this model and companies that don't. Number one, they find their US team being able to focus on the strategy and the strategic stuff, focus on their high dollar clients and really serve them at a high level. So it's a really interesting move for companies because all of a sudden your most, quite frankly, your most expensive employees are doing the most important work all of a sudden. And that's the definition of scale. Like you give away work, you refocus on the higher dollar, productive activities, and then your company grows.
Today on the show, we have $100 million CEO and founder of MyOutDesk, Daniel Ramsey.
I've been in this business for nearly 20 years, helping companies scale with virtual assistants. I've literally helped 9,000 companies hire virtual assistants. Really, it's labor arbitrage. We have 150-ish employees, and most of them have been there for 10 years.
You used to look up to, I think it was an economics teacher. You thought he was like God, and he basically said you were screwed.
Basically said, Daniel, if your parents are poor, you're going to be poor. And I just, in my head, I was like, that guy. I just remember thinking, I'm going to be well.